I'm just curious. Do you have to put your pinky up when you say Blue Eddy? I'm not sure. So I don't know. I'm not rich enough to be able to own that stuff. In fact, I wouldn't. And let me explain why. So first off, let me tell you what we're doing. This video is about what I'm calling the tactical deployment of solar power. Now, what I'm doing is I'm hooking up 3 panels here. They're each 60 watt panels, and so that's 180 watts. So I've got them hooked up with connectors here. Ran out through my cord I made last night. I've got MC4 connectors. I bought a bunch of them a while back, and I had some wire here, and so I made some so an extension cable is basically what I did with the MC4 connectors, and I just soldered it up last night real quick. So anyway, this is what I've got going on. 180 watts going out through that cord. So let me before we go any further, let me get down without killing myself. I'm standing on the electric bikes I put together, which is going to be part of what I'm going to say, because I need to give some disclosure and disclaimer here, okay? Because I don't want anybody blowing their stuff up, all right? And if you do, don't come back and blame me. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. What you're looking at is electric bikes, and people that have been around the channel know about these. If you're new, you probably don't. I built these. I've been into electrical and electronics, as I said in the other video, actually literally since kindergarten, and literally. It's just a thing. So anyway, I've been around the block with this stuff. I know it. I worked in an electronics test and repair lab for some time. You know, been around the block with it. I'm not trying to have a bigger wing contest with anybody or anything like that. I just want to help folks, and I want to be realistic. And any fool can click an add to cart button, all right? But remember my prepper priority list. Number 1 is spiritual. Number 2 is mental, because you got to be able to mentally handle the things that are coming. But the number 3 one is intellectual preparedness. That it's above physical preparedness. It's above before having the things, is knowing the things. It's important. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know. I've been around a little bit. These bikes I built, that's a 48 volt battery pack there, built out of scavenged 18650 batteries. There's 117 18650 batteries out of used laptop batteries in there. 48 volt battery pack that I built. Jen's got a lead acid. If you're wondering about the trike, for those that might be new around here, Jen, otherwise known as Gangsta Giggle, is disabled. She's got cerebral palsy, walks with forearm crutches, so she has to have an adult trike. So her batteries are bad right now. She's got lead acid batteries. That's like, I can't remember if it's 60 or 65 pounds, that battery box, right? I just don't have the money, or else she would be having a Li-ion battery box. So, and I don't have a source for the batteries, the used laptop batteries, or else I'd just build another one with used batteries. But anyway, so I just basically want to let folks know that I understand what I'm doing. I've been doing this stuff for quite a while, and you know, I don't want anybody to blow their stuff up with what I'm saying. So let's get on to what I'm talking about. So a couple of things had to be right for these conditions. Number 1, I had to have somewhat of shade, and we've already kind of covered that, that my panels are pretty much in shade, okay, where they are on top of this shed. We've already covered that. Now the other thing is there's like last I checked, 40% chance of rain today, so it's probably going to remain pretty cloudy today, and in fact that's my hopes. Okay, so I've got 180 watts worth of panels up there. Okay, now let me bring you around here and show you what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing I've done for the last 2 days. All right, I've got the GoPower Plus here, and remember I told you I wouldn't put over 100 watts into this. Well, we're not, okay, because the panels are in shade, and because the clouds are going to be hiding the sun. Now, I know from paying attention, from watching from my security camera, that sometime around about 12:15 in the afternoon, I noticed that the sun starts to shine directly on the top of this shed. So I know that I either have to disconnect either disconnect everything, or I have to start disconnecting some of the panels, or what have you, before that time, so I don't burn this up. Okay, so this is why I'm saying you have to be careful when you do stuff like this. Now, what did I mean by I wouldn't buy a Blue Eddy? Why wouldn't I put that kind of money out for a Blue Eddy? Well, I wouldn't buy a big unit. Okay, you're not going to bug out with this. I'm not. You might. I'm not. And anything bigger than... Are you going to bug out with a Blue Eddy? Really? One of those big ones? Really? Okay, I want to see you carry that. I want to see you carry that with your backpack and everything else. I want to see you bug out with it. Okay. No, let's be realistic. I've got Anker power packs for the bug out bags. All right? These things, nah. If I'm grabbing a bug out bag, these things ain't going. So anyway... now that we've got that understanding, just trying to keep it real. When it comes to your larger units, okay, this is what I got going on. I've got a 30 amp solar charge controller, and I've got batteries, and I've got a 1,000 watt AC power inverter, okay? So in reality, I wouldn't be doing all this happy stuff, and I damn sure wouldn't be paying out all the money for one of those expensive ass, big ass units. Nope. What you do is you build a battery bank, whichever you choose. That's the cool thing. You get to choose, right? Whether you want to use lithium ion, lithium polymer, lead acid, you know, whatever you want to choose, that's on you. Your solar charge controller, all right? I know that the fun thing, I guess right now, is to make fun of rock piles, right? To make fun of rock piles. Well, let me tell you something about that rock piles. That rock piles will charge faster than that Jackery. You know why? Because that rock piles has an MPPT solar charge converter. Yep, that Jackery has a PWM. Might want to check into that. So anyway, what I would do, put together whatever kind of battery bank you want, get the type of solar charge controller you want, and I recommend an MPPT. They do much better on cloudy days. And then I would, you got your battery bank, your solar charge controller, and then you get your AC power inverter. And again, you can choose what you need, however many watts you need. Mine's a cheap one. I think when I bought it, I paid like 60, 70 bucks for it. It's 1,000 watts. It's really a cheap Chinese piece of junk. No, I don't really honestly trust it a whole lot, right? But I can hook it all up and then plug all these things into that AC unit and then charge all these off of that AC. So, and it works much more efficiently and much better that way. So that is how I would actually do it, okay? That is how I would actually do it. And by the way, if Jackery did change to the MPPT, I am sorry, but the last I knew they were PWM, and I know damn well my 300 watt rock piles has an MPPT. So, and just for sake of argument, it's pass through. You can pass through charge on it. So anyway, plug this in here and we're going. Oh, I guess I should have showed you. Yeah, nothing. So let me kick my watch on here too. Here I'm showing, is that 6:31? 6:31. Let me try that again. I don't know if you got to see it. I'm showing 6:31. So 6:31, empty. Let's see how fast it charges now. Alrighty, it's 8:57 there. So, and the sun just kind of really started clearing those trees, if I can get the stupid camera up there. So the sun just really kind of started clearing those trees up there. So The panels actually have just got started working, so I doubt we're gonna have anything yet. Nope, not yet. So they just actually were able to start working. So remember, they're in shade. Remember, they're in shade. Anyway, real quick, I want to talk to you about some stuff. I said I built my own cord, my extension cord, right? These are MC4 connectors. You can get them really cheap. And this is actually, I used, the reason I build my own is because I make them whatever, length that I want. Now, mind you, you have to know what you're doing. You can't just use any old wire, any length. But this is 12 gauge wire, speaker wire, but it's true 12 gauge. It's American 12 gauge, not the Chinese imposter 12 gauge. But anyway, I make my own. It's cheaper, and I can customize it. Soldering iron is easy enough to use, so I just make my own. Alright, I lied to you earlier, and I didn't do so intentionally. 2,000 watts. 2,000 watts. I said 1,000 watt, I'm sorry. 2,000 watts. It's a cheap Chinese unit, okay? I do want to point out something. Under each of those screws there is something called a MOSFET transistor, okay? And there's 8 MOSFET transistors. So I would say, yeah, I would say it's 2,000 watts, but it's going to be a cheap Chinese 2,000 watts. So, right here, our solar charge controller, okay? I want you to pay close attention what it says in that corner there. What's that say? MPPT, okay, 30 amp. It's about what you look for. It's about knowing what to look for, not about how much money you can spend, okay? It's not about how much money you can spend. It's about what you look for, right? Those blue eddies and all those big expensive units, that's fool's money, folks. That's fool's money, okay? So anyway, I do plan to upgrade all of this. That's actually next on our priority list. Sorry for being out of frame. I do want to get a better charge controller. It is MPPT, but it's a cheap Chinese unit. So I do want to get a better MPPT charge controller. I do want to get a better power inverter. But, we're not rich people. We can't just click that or add to cart, I mean, we've got a donate link down there in the description if people feel so inclined, but we don't expect others to pay our way through this. We're just poor people trying to do this, right? 2 disabled people trying to do this. And so I'm trying to help you be able to do this as cheaply as possible. I'm not out here trying to browbeat anybody or anything like that. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. It is what it is, right? You know what? When that brown stuff hits that high-speed oscillator, I would much, much rather have my knowledge than that ability to click add to cart. Just a fact. Alrighty, just wanted to show you something. So I am showing that it is 12:24 p.m. You're looking at the security camera feed on the back there, and the sun is just about to track to where that tree is going to continue going that way. So here in a moment, I'm going to keep my eye on it. In a moment, it's okay if these 2 panels get exposed to direct sunlight. I don't want all 3 exposed to direct sunlight, okay? So what I'm going to do is, after this tree gets about halfway to those panels, I'm going to go out there and remove this panel, okay? Because I don't want to burn that little bitty thing up. So just thought I'd pop on and show you what I'm doing. Alrighty, I show it's 1:22. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. I don't know if you can see the screen very well. I'll try to block the sun out of it. Let me step over here and pull this and hit the button. Whew, I'm showing 2 bars. 2 bars, and that was with 180 watts of panels in the shade most of that time, and then 120 watts of panels in sunlight just for a short bit of time. But we're going to speed this up. Let's spice this up, right? You know what? I'm gonna give in. I'm gonna keep up with everybody because you know that's the cool thing to do. I'm gonna get me a Blue Eddy. Yeah, a Blue Eddy. I'm getting me a Blue Eddy. So hang on a second. Let me set this camera down here and disconnect these panels from that connector and connect these panels into my Blue Eddy and you know, let's take a peek. So I'm showing, if you can see it on the screen there, I don't know if you can or not, 12.5 volts, right? Like I said, I got this primarily when I was looking at these little boxes. I was looking for an inexpensive box I could find that had an MPPT solar charge controller built in. Guess what? So, and it's my Bigfoot, the reason that piece of tape's down there, because I have to fix a USB port right there. That was my Bigfoot, not the problem of the device. Anyway, I don't know, just for argument's sake. By the way, this is a Rockpowers unit. It's got a Forion name, right? But there were a bunch of different names. It's the same unit, bunch of different names. Okay, so now hang on. I'm gonna plug all this on. I'm gonna have to reach back and because there's a button back there I gotta hit. Okay, hit the button. And I don't know if you can see the lights up in there or not. I don't know if you can see the lights up in there or not, but oops, I'm sure you can probably see those lights. How do you like those lights? Huh, I'll be damned. Rockpowers, they do make pass-through units. They also make units with MPPT solar charge controllers. You know, you can keep up with the Joneses if you want, but eventually you're just going to be out of money and out of luck. All right, it is 2:33, and I just hooked up the Rockpowers panel. I hooked it back up. Now, of course, the sun's trying to peek out, but as I'm doing the video. So I just hooked it up, and we're going to monitor it. The clouds have decided to come out and say hi. So it's supposed to cloud up and possibly rain. So let me show you what we got going on. This thing, get this camera tilted down here. It's still charging away, and here we were at 12.1 when I hooked. Yep, there it just bounced to 12.1. Okay, so me just hooking that panel up right before I started this is already giving me the extra solar that I need in the shade, you know, or clouds that I need in order to keep charging that box and be able to keep charging that box at the same time. So that's why I went ahead and hooked that back up, and I suspect it won't take too awful much longer, and this box will be charged up, this box will be topped off, and they'll be both good to go. So I don't know what the maximum charge rate of this little thing is. It can't be much. I guarantee it's not over about 2 amps, 2.5 amps, I guarantee it. But yeah, this thing can keep up pretty well. Like I say, it's got a limit, but you can push that limit hard and this thing will keep up. So I like it. Works for me. Anyway, I will kick this back on when I've got more to show you. Alright, it is 5:01 by looks of my watch here, and this is fully charged now. So you got that one. This one might be a little hard to see, so let me see if I can get it. 12.1, and it's charging. Oops, yeah. 12.1, I don't know if you can see it. It is charging. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it now, but it would finish charging. If I let it go, it would finish charging. I'm just going to go ahead and get the panels inside and all wrapped up. So they did good. We didn't really get clouds a whole lot. However, we were in the shade the entire time. So we were in the shade the entire time for the most part. I mean, there was about an hour and a half we had direct sunlight. So, but that was it. The rest of it, it was in shade. So, you know, I don't know a whole lot. I mean, I wished I knew even a fraction of what some people do about gardening and trees and stuff like that. But I didn't spend my life learning about those things. I did spend my life learning about this stuff. So, it is what it is. Hope everybody has a good day. Remember, the whole idea of this was to show you how I could keep the panels out of the sight of anything going over like drones or anything like that. Also, it was consistent power because I kept them in the shade, right? So it was consistent power. It didn't rely on me constantly angling them towards the sun or anything like that. And one side note to this is you do actually massively increase the lifespan of your panels if they're not in the direct sunlight. But that's that's really not a good trade-off considering the amount of power that you lose not being in direct sunlight. I'm not saying, folks, not to put your panels in direct sunlight. I want to be very clear on that, okay? Not saying that. This was about how to do it in case there was like some type of a grid down event that was a little more long-term than most would feel comfortable. And it was about being able to deploy your solar panels in a manner in which you could keep your devices charged, and at the same time everybody wouldn't see your panels and whatnot. Because believe me, in a situation like that, you go a couple of weeks, everybody without power, you let a solar panel be seen outside somewhere. See what happens. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing day, and we'll see you soon.